So we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a little bit insane, and I wanted to do something special for that, but I didn't really know what to do. So I was kind of thinking, right, like maybe I'll release a really cool mod, or I don't know, take some suggestions or something. I mean, I do that anyways, pretty much. And then I realized that there's basically like no how to port mods. There's no tutorials on how to port mods in Minecraft. This is all like port forwarding and stuff, which no one really cares about. It's Hypixel. Um, these are all so old too. It probably doesn't even matter. So I'm gonna be doing a tutorial on how to port mods to different versions. For example, taking a 1.7 only mod to 1.8 or to 1.12 or something. So I'm going to try to be as descriptive as possible, try to make it easy to follow, but as always, you can ask questions in the comments, and I'll try to respond. And it's really not that complicated, so if you're really struggling, it's, yeah, just ask a question. It won't be that big a deal. I'll try to answer everything. So, what I've done is I've basically put together like a survival pack, right? This is everything you'll need pretty much to port mods. It's not even that much. You won't need everything either, because all you'll need is the version that you're starting with, for example 1.7, and then you'll also need the version you're going to, which is like 1.8 or whatever, 1.12. So I've just included these three versions. You might not need them though. So to get started, I'm gonna explain a little bit. Oh, also, before I do anything, there's gonna be in the description timestamps with each section, and hopefully you can just skip to the section you need if you don't want to watch everything. This might be a long video. I don't really know. I haven't recorded it yet, obviously, because I'm here. And yeah, hopefully it won't be too long though, because I don't want people like thinking it's too hard to do, because it's really not. It's not difficult. So if I want that short time length, I better get into it. So first, I'm going to be explaining what you're doing when you're porting mods, okay? This is like, hopefully I want the people who are watching this to be able to understand what they're actually doing instead of just following mindlessly a set of steps or something like that. So this is what are called Minecraft mappings, okay? And this is a system Forge uses to go from readable code to something that Minecraft uses, functions that Minecraft use. So let me download this real quick. I'll just download like the 1.8 mappings, download zip. So let's check these out, okay? So for example, methods. Okay, these are things in code that will either mean something or do something. I'm not going to get into the whole code thing. This is not a coding tutorial. But you can basically understand what these do if you read the names. Like, for example, there's like get username. This is a really simple one. It's you'd probably be able to guess what that does. And then there's these things. These are obfuscated function names or parameters or fields. These things. This is what Minecraft uses in their code, okay? But obviously no one's going to be able to remember every single one of these and what it means. So when you're writing code, you write it in this. You would type out these names, and then when you compile your mod to go into a .jar file, it will change all of these into this, okay? I know I'm saying a lot of this, that, those, but hopefully it makes sense. Just look where I'm pointing, you know? It's going to change this into this. But what we're doing when we decompile and want to port a mod is we go from this, which is in the jar, then we take it over to this. So then we can see if everything looks good in the code, and then we can go back into these in a 1.8 or a higher version, essentially. So that's what I'm going to be explaining how to do today. Yeah, let's just get started. So I'm going to be porting the CPS mod, I'm going to be porting it to 1.12 because why not? This guy, MindMC, he's actually a friend of mine. He doesn't play Minecraft anymore, but he ported it to 1.8, 1.8.9. So I'm probably not going to port into those versions since he's already done it. But I guess I'll port it. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to do a keystrokes mod. I'm going to port keystrokes v3 into 1.12. Okay. So, I'm going to download the mod. I'm not exactly prepared for this, as you can see. Download through your browser. Get this going. It'll take its time, of course. And we get the mod. So, what I'm going to do with this program called Luyten is this is what decompiles the jar. Okay, so let's just open the archive. You're not going to do this, but you can see this is all the folders and stuff, and they're in .class files. Okay, and this is obfuscated code, so if you try to edit this, it just looks weird, and you can't understand anything that means, right? But if I open up Luyten, there's also a program called JDGUI, which is more popular, but I actually preferred this one, so I'm including it in the package. Then I'm going to drag this mod over the jar, and you can see that this is all the code. Like, if you know code, you can read what this is doing for the most part. But, it looks more readable, even if you don't even know what you're doing at all. It looks more readable than that mess that we just looked at. So, the problem is that you can see those field things that we were looking at before, those obfuscated names, they're still here, right? This is in the jar that you would download and put into your mods folder. These are functions that you cannot read and also cannot compile. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first get the versions that I want to start with and I want to go to. So this is a 1.7.10 mod made for 1.7.10, and then I want to get it to 1.12. Okay, I've also included 1.8 like I've said, but if you want a different version like 1.9, you can go over to Minecraft Forge and what you can do is get say you want 1.10, right? Go over to 1.10.2 and then just download the MDK, recommended version MDK. Okay, this will download a zip. Well, you gotta wait for that crap, so I'm not gonna do that. But if you're in like 1.7, it's gonna say source instead of MDK for some reason. They just changed it around, but it's the same thing. You just need to download the one that looks like code, basically. So I have these, which I'm putting in the package, like I've said multiple times. But all you need to do is with a archive folder or a zip program like 7-zip or WinRAR. I'm pretty sure this one just built into Windows. But what I'm going to do is extract it. Wait, I'm not even using 1.8. I'm not sure why I did that. I'm going to extract 1.7, and I'm going to extract 1.12. These are the ones that I'm using, but it might be different for you. But it'll be the same process, essentially. So then, once I'm in here, what you're going to need to do is copy the file location. Okay, so this is the folder, not the zip. You can even just delete. I'm not going to delete them because I'm distributing that file. But all you need to do is have these folders, and then you need to find the path, the file path. So you can just Google how to do that if you're on Mac, but I'm showing on Windows. I don't have Mac, so I can't really show it. Then I just did that really fast. I should not have done that. You're going to need to go into your commands prompt, which if you don't know how to do, you can also Google it. It's not that hard. It's terminal for Mac. Pretty much the same thing. And then, so I'm going to go into CMD, sorry. I just click here to search, type CMD, open it up. It's really not difficult. But then, once I'm in here, I'm going to type CD, which stands for change directory, copy over this path name, and I'm going to paste it right into there, Control V, and then I'll press enter. Now for Mac, let's see, change, let's see how you do it. Actually, it still is CD, so you're going to need to get your file path a little bit differently, which I'm not sure how to do. You can probably Google it, like I've said. And then you're going to go over to your 1.12, or, the next version that you're doing. Open up another command prompt or another terminal, and then not do that. You're going to need to do cd over here. Okay, now for both of these, you're going to do gradlew setup decomp workspace. I'll put this in the description. It needs to have this capital and stuff, I think. What this does basically is it downloads all the dependencies that you'll need to compile mods and edit mods. That's pretty much it. And you're just going to type this for both those. I'll put it in the description. And then press enter. Now it's going to do its thing. It's going to take a while. Okay, because it's got a lot of stuff. I didn't press enter over there by accident. But you'll see it'll go through a bunch of commands. Doesn't matter if you don't know what they mean. I don't even know. But it'll just go through it, and I'll get back to you once it's done. Okay, so that didn't take very long for me, but usually it'll take around 5 minutes to download both of them. So, yeah, just be prepared for that. And I really shouldn't be exiting it out of those, but I'm just going to do it to make it easier to follow. So, get rid of that. Get rid of that for me. I guess I can just get rid of all of this. What you're going to do next is you're going to take your mod, right, and you're going to use a tool called Bearded Octo Nemesis. Yeah, it's a strange name, but it's a great tool. So you're going to open it up, and what this will do is it'll automate the process of changing those mappings from a obfuscated name to a non-obfuscated name. So you're going to get your mod in here, right, desktop keystrokes mod v3. And then you need to select the mappings that you want. So I'm doing 1.7 is the version that this mod is for, so I'm going to select 1.7. But if it's like a 1.8 mod that you're bringing to 1.12, you'll obviously select 1.8. So just select the version or the mappings that your mod is for, right? Does that make any sense? I don't know. But then you just press go. Does its thing. Pretty quick, actually. And now I'm going to open up Luyten again, which is my decompiler. I'm going to drag it in just to see if it worked, okay? Now, it did not. Oh, right. Okay, I dragged in the wrong mod by accident. So you can see it'll be deobfuscated because it says deop at the end here. This one doesn't, so I can just delete this, honestly. I'll take this deop mod, drag it in, and see if it works. You see how these are now like get command name, process command. This is more readable. This is what you would actually code in. So that's what we're going to be using. So I've got my deobfuscated mod here. Actually, I still need to keep it open in Luyten. You're going to open up Luyten. You're going to drag in your mod. And then you're going to go to File, Save All. Okay? This is going to save all of these files as a folder. Well, a zip folder that you can actually interact with, and you can press edit, and well, I'm editing in Notepad, so it looks awful, but it will be the actual code instead of the class files that were not decompiled. So you can see that these are .java files instead of .class files, which means that they're raw Java code instead of compiled Java. But you don't need to know what that means if you don't. It's okay. So now we're going to go over here. I'm just going to extract it. You can do that through many different ways with WinRAR, 7-zip, all that. Now I'm going to head over to my Eclipse and open this up. I don't use Eclipse generally, but it's better for porting mods, I guess. Well, it's better for Forge in general, just because it's easier to understand. It's built into Forge. So you're going to go back to your command prompt. You're going to copy your you're going to copy your file name again, the one that you're porting to, so 1.12 for me. And I'm going to copy, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. You can just copy address like that. So now I'm going to go back to my directory, like I did before. Now I'm going to type gradlew eclipse. Now you can see that it's going to go through some stuff again. I'll just let Eclipse do its thing real quick. Well, actually, it doesn't have much to do. It's just waiting. So I'll let this go through and I'll get back to you. Okay, so that was pretty quick. It made a folder called Eclipse in the 1.12 directory, which is good. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into that Eclipse folder, and then we're going to copy the path name. So I guess we can just go like this, copy address. And we're going to paste it right in. Okay, so then do launch. It'll take a minute because this is the first time I'm opening Eclipse. And actually it doesn't take that long. So what you have here is you have your MDK example. This is the default stuff that Eclipse comes with. And this is not what we want. But you can just see, you can check that everything is working by seeing that there is an example mod here. It'll just be in this little menu to the side. So I'm going to exit out of this now. I know we just opened it, but it needed to do that to create some folders. Then you're going to go over to the source in your 1.12 directory. And then it says main Java resources. This is the same thing we saw except for in the file manager instead of in Eclipse. So we can actually, I'll keep this open. I'm just going to minimize it. But we're going to take our deobfuscated folders and we're going to bring it over to main. And then we're going to, actually, we can keep this. But we're going to go over into Java, right? So we're going to start at our 1.12 folder, go into source, main, Java, and then delete the com, okay? Just delete that whole thing. And then we're going to drag in the main root folder. I don't really know how to describe this if you're not a coder or if you're not experienced with Java, but Java essentially, let's see, Java naming conventions. What it will do is it starts with, let's see, does this work? It does not, or it is not what I want. But basically, if you have a website, like let's say hypixel.net, right? If Hypixel was making a mod and they wanted to follow proper conventions, they would make their root of their mod called net.hypixel and then continue with the other stuff. So it's going to say something different than PW. That's just what the creator of the mod, his website is synk.pw, I guess. But it might say something like net, or it might say any other domain name here. So it's going to be a little bit confusing if you're not experienced with this stuff, but you should be able to figure it out. And as I said, just ask questions in the comments if you're confused by a step. I'm not sure I'm explaining this very well, but that's okay. So I'm going to drag this folder over here into the Java. It was source main Java. Then I'm going to put pw, sync, keystrokes mod, all the stuff that is, all the folders and files of that mod. And then I'm going to take the mcmod.info. This is basic info about the mod. And I'm going to go into main resources. I'll just delete this one. I don't know why it's there. And then I'm going to copy this over and replace it. Sometimes this might be different depending on the mod you're porting, but it should be pretty simple to follow. You don't really need to do the mcmod step. It's just, here, I can even edit it. You'll see what it does. Mod ID, description, version. Actually, what we're going to need to do right now, if there is a mcmod folder, now we're going to change this to 1.12. Is there a 2? I don't know. 1.12. Okay. And you can put your name in, like 25 for porting. Just if you want to. Created by Fayu though. Keep that in. Keep the creator of the mod in, just for good, I don't know, moral support, I guess. So you're gonna go here. Actually, you don't need to go in this. I'm just showing it off for some reason. You need to go back to your Eclipse though, and you need to go into Eclipse. Again, you already have that file name opened. You can get rid of all this stuff, by the way. You don't really need it. But you can see it keeps the same file path. I'm just going to launch it. Wait for it to do its thing again. Might take a bit. Then what you're going to do, as you can see, there are a bunch of errors. If it has this little X here, it means there's an error. And what we can do in Eclipse is it'll tell us what the errors are, basically. So I'm going to hover over this, right? It says add unimplemented methods. Excuse me. So I'll do that. I will figure out what needs to be added. You can see that it just added some things. Get name, get usage, execute. Now this is just changed names for functions, basically. They changed the names of functions between versions, between 1.7 and 1.12. For some reason, they just like to do that. They like to switch things around. I guess it's like better coding practice or stuff. I don't know. But for this here, get command name, they changed that to get name. So this is not going to work as it is right now. We need to change this to get name. Then we can just delete this. Okay, we don't need it anymore. And you see, it doesn't have any errors anymore. We need to actually replace the old things, because now get usage, get command usage changed over to get usage. Then we can get rid of this. I don't know if this makes any sense, what I'm doing here, because it's kind of confusing if you don't know what you're doing with mods. But this is basically a command, right? This is the keystrokes mod command. And it has a few things, a few functions that it needs for the command to operate. So they changed the names of these functions between versions, just for some reason, just for fun. So execute changed into process command. So I'm just going to copy this over, doing Control X and Control V there. Then I can get rid of this. Magic. Now it's still giving me an error, so I'm going to hover over it again. Actually, I'll just click on this, it's easier. Add unimplemented methods. Let's see. I thought I did. What are you talking about? It says that there's still an unimplemented method. Maybe I need to use all of this. So I'm going to copy all of this over. It's basically just trial and error to see if it throws any commands. Now it's saying there's a duplicate, so I'm going to get rid of that, see if there's an error. There's not. So it needed all those things. Okay, I'm going to describe them as things because getting into what they actually do is a little bit too in-depth for this tutorial, I guess. Actually, I might. So when you're executing commands, right, you need a few things to execute the command. And this is just what Forge needs, okay? It's the Minecraft server, the sender, and the arguments for the command. And that's pretty much all it does. So 1.12 changes some things around from 1.7, but they're pretty easy to fix. And what is wrong here? Get is key pressed. Something's wrong with that. We need to check out the key itself. I don't know what this function comes from. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but we'll just come back to that later, okay? So here, I'm just going to click on this or import it. I'm going to click on it or hover over it, and it says that it needs imports. So I'm going to import the mod. This is the dependencies that it needs. And these are old dependencies that are outdated, so I'm going to delete those. If it's giving me a squiggly error, I'm going to get rid of it. Then for this one, it needs to import fml initialization, can't speak. Import the subscribe event. We don't even need this, but I guess we'll do it. Import tick event, and then it's going to want us to do something else. Let's see, what is it? Assign parameter new field. Or we can just basically go through the errors, and if it looks like something might do something, I know, really specific, but if it looks like it might help, try it, then you can always do Control Z if it doesn't work. So for this one, I need to import it, and everything's good. This mod has no, this file has no errors anymore. So now we need to go over to keystrokes, GUI, mouse clicked. This one's a try catch, so let's just let it do its thing. We could also throw, or we could try catch. Just try both these, see if they work. And this will throw an IO exception. I'm not going to explain what that means, but oh well. Move, mouse moved or up. So I feel like this is, let's see. I need to do a little bit of investigative work for this, but I'm also, just to go through these things, I'm going to go through this, I'm going to fix this. Wait, it let me do it that time. Okay. I'll add a throws declaration. I'll remove that. Now I'll save it. There's still an error with the error. I need to get rid of these. Okay, that's good. Then for this is not going to happen in all your mods. If it's a more simple mod than keystrokes, you probably won't have errors like this. But since this is a pretty complicated mod, unidentified for the type GUI screen. Interesting. Now, what can do? I can try deleting this. That looks like it did something. So basically just play around with it. You might need to know a little bit of how coding works, or how Java works. But that looks like it got rid of the error. So it works. That was just a random guess by me. I didn't even know what the error meant, to be honest. I just tried it out. You can always try changing these things too. I don't know. Just try, mess with some stuff. So is key pressed? We need to go to this. Oops. Let's just add cast. Let's see if that works. Press save. What's wrong now? Change cast. Save. Okay, so this is one example where it's not gonna work. So what we need to do here is just play around with this some more. So I'm thinking that maybe get, let's see if getting rid of the get does anything. No, then I guess I'll just try okay, how do I explain this? So what was before was get is key pressed, right? And if I delete this, then it'll show, and I press the dot, right? It'll show all the functions that that exist, right? So you can just scroll down this and think about what it said before. So get is key pressed. Think about it, what it said before, and then I'm going to press the dot, and this kind of looks the same. Is key down sounds similar to get is key pressed, right? So maybe they just changed it between versions. Now another thing you can do in a situation like this, right? So you can go back. Didn't I delete the old? Oh my gosh. Alright, I gotta go into my recycle bin. Let's see, where is keystrokes mod? There we go. So let's get the old mod back out, right? And what we need to do is go find this folder with all our tools, open Luyten, then drag this over, okay? Now we're going to open up the mod. Let's see, what are we in? Key, right? We're in key. This is the name, but it looks the same. You can see how it's similar. But then we're going to scroll down to the error. What was it? Let's just go back to what it was before. Get is key pressed, right? And now under render key, we can see the first line is this function. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Now, I'm going to go over to these Minecraft mappings. Oh, I need to get rid of my keyboard. Chrome. Okay, we'll copy it again in a second. Not too big a deal. I need to download these again. So let's download the 1.7 let's see. Actually, no. What we're going to do is we're going to download the 1.11. What? Where's the 1.12? Okay, I'll just download this one, right? So I'm downloading these 1.12 mappings, opening the methods. This is where all the functions are. You can just look through the files till you find the one. And now we're going to go back into this, copy this again, do Control F, and we'll find it. So you can see this is the same name as this command. What it used to be in 1.7, when we did the 1.7 mappings, is it was get is key pressed. But when it goes into 1.12, they changed it over to, as you can see, is key down. So we were right with our guess, but we can also do that method. Looks like it worked. So I'm going to save it now. I'm going to press the play button up here, run client. And let's see if it opens, or if it loads, okay? So it's going to start up Minecraft. And it'll take a little bit. It's going to not have, you're not going to be signed in, so you can't go on multiplayer servers. But it's just going to give us like a fake player name. It's going to go through that. This is kind of cool. I didn't know this was a thing. It seems like a new Forge feature, maybe. So now I'm going to go into single player, create new world. Just go into super flat, I guess. Create new world. Got that Minecraft music going. And it'll take a little bit, of course, but you can see that we have everything, right? Keystrokes, what was it? Keystrokes mod, right? Okay. Text color green, sure. And we got it working. We can try jitter clicking. Oh gosh, that's really loud. But you can see that everything works. It's amazing. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save and quit. If it wasn't working, just go through those steps again and try to find the error. Or, honestly, if you don't know how to code at all, just leave a question in the comments, because I'll try to help you out. Because it's going to be hard to figure out the stuff if you don't know any code and if it's not working. So, I'm going to minimize this real quick. And I'm going to get rid of all this crap, okay? Even this. Get rid of everything. I'm going to go back into, what was it? Our 1.12 folder. This is where we have the project file. I'm going to copy this, go into the command prompt again. Actually, we saved it open. Okay, we don't even need to do that. But we're in our file. You can see that it's pointing to this file, right? And what we're going to do is gradlew build, okay? It'll take a little bit of time to, what this is going to do is it will compile the mod, okay? And this changes it from all that code that you saw into a mod, much like keystrokes mod right here. There is one thing that I didn't check that you should be checking. Sorry, I got to go back for a second. So you go back to the main file, you'll see that it's main because it has this @mod thing. And it says name, keystrokes mod ID. Sometimes it'll say, what will it say? It'll say something about like the Minecraft version, like mcvert. Maybe it's that. Something like that. Right, it'll say 1.7.10. Okay. It'll have a comma there, so it doesn't throw that error. No, this wasn't it. Here we go. Acceptable Minecraft versions. Accepted Minecraft versions. So it'll say 1.12. Then you might have to change this to 1. No, it says 1.7. Then you gotta change it to 1.12. Right? And then you go over here and compile it and stuff. It might not have that though. Like on this one, it didn't have that. Then it finished building in 26 seconds. Then we'll go in this folder with our mod, right? 1.12 Forge. We go into the build, libs, and then we have mod ID 1.0. Okay, this is our mod. This is the compiled jar. It's like the final product. And we'll call it keystrokes v3, and then we'll say 1.8. No, it's 1.12. So I've got keystrokes v3 1.12, and we can actually go. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to open a new folder. I'm going to go back to our mod porting tools. I'm going to open Luyten, and we're going to check and see if it's good. So you can see that all these functions are the correct things, right? These are the obfuscated names of the functions instead of what we had in our code over there, which was, all this stuff. So it looks good. Looks good. You can see it even did the accepted Minecraft versions 1.12, which I just put in. And now we're good. We've created a mod. We've ported it to 1.12. Now we can upload this to Dropbox or something, file sharing service. I don't know. Give it to your friends. Put it on YouTube. Do what you will. Put it in your mods folder. I don't know. Do whatever you want. You got a new mod. So, yeah, that was about it. Let's see how long that recording was. 41 minutes. Jesus Christ. I gotta cut that down a lot. Oh, well. My voice is dead. I can't speak properly. But we got it done. So, yeah, I'm going to include this folder in the description and delete this stuff so it's easy to... Oops. I got to get rid of Eclipse real quick. Try again. Let me do my thing. So this folder will be in the description with everything you need pretty much. You can port almost any mod that's not too complicated. Generally mods that interact with the Minecraft game itself, like maybe create new blocks or create new worlds and stuff. Generally not multiplayer mods. Those might not be portable by you, but you can try it. Anyways, if you watch the whole thing, if you learned from this, if you created your own mod, be sure to show me what mod you created. Not created. If you ported your own mod, just drop a link in the description. Not in the description, in the comments. I tell you, I can't speak. I'm telling you. Anyways, if this really helped you, please subscribe, please. This took so much effort and so much time to get together. And I'm hoping that it makes sense. I'm not the best at explaining things usually. So if not, drop a comment. Like I've said, I will try to help out as best I can with everybody's issues. But yeah, drop a like if this helped you. Subscribe if this helped you. If you think it'll help other people, if you're interested in more mods, more ports. I know I'm basically putting myself out of business by making this mod, or making this tutorial. But that's okay. It's for the community. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. And, yeah, oh my god. That was ridiculously hard to do. Alright, thanks. See ya.